Welcome to Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Vong.
Today we want to talk to business owners that are obviously in business looking for new customers. There's a number of things that are important to you. It's important to your clients also, and it's known as reviews. You can talk about it in terms of reputation and reputation management. So John, let's talk about that. In terms of reviews, why are they important? Who is it important to? And let's talk about some strategies.
Yeah, definitely. So reviews, I mean, when I'm traveling or when I'm going to a new city, I'm looking for a restaurant or hotel, I typically go to certain websites and read reviews, right? So I typically go to TripAdvisor or I go to Google and check out the reviews. I go to HomeStars if I'm looking for a contractor. I look for, depending on what kind of service or kind of vertical that I'm after, this is one of the touch points, I would say.
Sure.
In terms of actually finding a company that I like, but really dig a little bit deeper as to what experiences have other people had.
Exactly.
Right?
I know when we talk to clients, we talk about this principle called the EAT principle. Your expertise, your authority, your trust. That's what EAT stands for. Trust is the review. And you as a consumer, I know myself, when I'm traveling, I actually search out TripAdvisor because I want to know if I'm going to go to the city and I have a limited amount of time, what are the top things I want to see there? So everyone loves reviews. We want to get recommendation from someone else in that community. But now the key thing is Google. They like reviews.
Yeah, so there's strategies around trying to get more reviews because the challenge, even in our business, and most of you, business owners, is how do you get more reviews? Because most of the time, people who write reviews are the ones that had a bad experience or a negative, situation happened, right? And they want to voice their opinion and frustration. So they want to expand and amplify into the public. So what we try to focus on for all our clients is really get best practice out there in terms of trying to start cultivating as many positive reviews as you can early on, right? So us being in business for 5 years, we always focus on best practices. Where do you get reviews? How do you get it? And, how do you respond to negative, positive feedback as well?
And the key thing is, the reason why you want this is it not only is going to answer questions your potential customers are going to want to know when they're searching you out. If they're going to choose between your company and someone else, it comes down to reviews and your location and different things, but reviews are important. Now, Google has, it's referred to as signals, and when they're going to rank a website, and ultimately you as a business person, you want your website to show up on the search engine results page for searches in your industry. Google looks at reviews. That's one of the important signals.
Yeah, that's very correct. So you as a business owner or consumers, they have the ability to search for certain criteria, and one of them is review star rating on Google. So you can actually search within your area on 4-star or 4.5-star or greater, right? So you want to make sure that you start best practice of generating more positive reviews. Google also gives you, if you have less than 5 reviews, there's certain colors. So trying to start best practices, get in the habit of asking your clients, and not just good clients, I mean all your clients, because you want a positive perception for the consumers in terms of just seeing what other people are saying, right?
And now in different industries or verticals, let's call it, like in the health industry, there are review sites. RateMD is one. You may have heard of it.
And OpenCare as well.
And OpenCare. So make sure your business has exposure there and that you've got your patients or clients sending or putting reviews there for you.
Yeah, so certain verticals, I would say, so medical health, those two are very important. Along with third-party sites like Yellow Pages, Yelp, there's certain sites that make sense to be in there, BBB. But if you're in the home improvement you're a contractor, HomeStars here in Canada is very big, right? There's Yellow Pages might be very big. Yelp might be very big. There's certain sites that make sense.
Yes.
So what you have to do is search on Google to see what are some of the top sites or directories that are appearing very high. And make sure you have exposure and presence. You verify their page to ensure that some of your clients will start getting sending reviews on there.
Yep. And of course, we haven't even mentioned it, but the Google review for your Google Plus page, that really is probably the most important one. It's everyone understands it. They go to Google, write a review, it's there. So that, and of course, Google's going to notice how many reviews have come in. So that's a tremendous one also that you should go after.
So how do we get more reviews? So that's the challenge for a lot of business owners, right? So best practice is just ask. Ask your clients and patients or whatever it may be. After they're done with your service, you should constantly get feedback.
Yes.
You should constantly ask for referrals and also ask for a review or testimonial from a client. This could be done through email.
Yes.
Then you can just send a link, and it's up to the customer to write that review, and it should not be incentivized, right? So it's best practice to just ask.
Yep.
And you should always have options, right? Because not everyone has a Gmail account, so Google might be very difficult.
Sure.
But Yelp, maybe some of your customers are very comfortable with Yelp. Some of them might be they have an account on TripAdvisor, right? So depending on, where they are comfortable in terms of your customers, just give them options.
Yes.
Facebook is a great avenue as well.
And this idea of keeping it top of mind, we understand when you're in a business, you're a business person, you're busy, you're trying to run your business, asking them, where did you look us up, which of course is mostly Google. At the end of your service call, or when you've finished that, whatever service or product you've given to them and provided, asking at the end of the sale or the end of the interaction you've had, either on your receipt or just best practices, asking them, if you were happy with my service, it would be very important to my business, and it helps me help other customers, if you would do me a favor and write me a review. So just internalize it and get your service people to also just train them to ask for reviews.
So it's very important in the digital landscape. So you need to make sure that it's on a third-party site and not just your own website, on a testimonials review page on your website. Because anyone, if you own that website, you can make up reviews and put it on your website. But if it is on a third party's
best.
They have their own restrictions and guidelines, so they have to follow their rules.
Yes.
So make sure, as much as possible, you're guiding them to third-party sites. And historically, before the digital space of internet, we had clients give a reference letter, right? And that was very impactful and powerful. So when you were on a sales call, it's like a case study, but on a paper.
In a binder, folding it through at the end of your presentation, whatever that may have been for home improvements or windows or doors, you're going to, at the end, in the old days, here's some references of clients that are happy with our service.
So now you just move that paper copy
online.
Before after pictures, put it on digital.
Exactly.
Right? Another thing that's very important is commenting on all reviews, positive and negative.
Yes.
Right? So on Google, on Facebook, there's a section where you can actually comment as a business owner. So it shows that you're responsive. It shows people are going to read reviews. So you got to make sure that you're genuine and personalize as much as possible. So try to explain their situation and hopefully thank them and their continued partnership, right? Relationship.
And I think it could be argued that responding to a negative review is probably even more important than responding to a positive one. The positive is still very important, just to thank them for their loyalty and what they said. But a negative review, there's strategies you need to follow, and of course it is be prompt, respond, always take the high road, and personalize it for that person to say, listen, if let's say it's a negative review on one of your staff members, you could respond, thank you for taking the time to write and give us this review. We take customer service very seriously here. Please call me directly. That sort of powerful statement, if you're the owner of the business, you respond to say, we appreciate your feedback. We can always do better.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of, non-real or fake reviews that happen.
There can be, yes.
And you know, it goes through the cracks. I mean, Google has guidelines, Facebook has guidelines. There's certain third-party sites that have guidelines, but there's ways around it.
Yes.
And your competitors might be writing these fake reviews. So again, commenting it and escalating it to the actual site itself, because you know, if you can show proof that they're not really a customer or they've been writing fake reviews for all your major competitors and there's some sort of track record, there's ways to get that removed.
To deal with it.
Deal with it.
And even to respond to it, to say, if it's a negative review and it has just initials or a name that isn't recognizable, say, please, you could respond, we cannot find your records that you were a customer of our business. Please reach me directly. We would love to investigate this further. At this time, though, we don't even know if you're dealing with the right business.
Exactly.
So it's just take the high road, be professional, and know that there are businesses out there, other competitors that might try and, you know, slide some poor reviews out on your behalf.
So my tip of the day would be just run a good business. Be honest.
Yes.
And you will, and ask for reviews. So make it a common practice where you have a system and you make it a habit after each of your sales call or even post call.
There you go.
There's even through the accountant or whatever, the letter, just ask.
That's right. They say 21 days to start a regular, habit. 21 days asking for reviews, you'll never ever forget to ask again. So just all you have to do is do it for 3 weeks in a row. You'll never forget again.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks, John.
Thank you, Roger.
Have a good day.
Thank you.